Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, we know I'd still be talking about football because I just literally never shut up. But this time of year right now, it's the off season and it is time to get ready for the NFL season. So I'm going to start giving you guys some of my tailgate recipes and some of the things that I like to do. And of course, you cannot have a football tailgate without some ribs. And the only way to cook ribs is low and slow in a smoker. Now, this is the way I do them. I know some of you pit masters are going to go ahead and poo-poo the way I do it, but hey, this is the Jobu style. Now, I've got myself some nice ribs that are right here, and what I've done is I've actually taken a knife and gone underneath of it, pulled off the membrane. You definitely want to take that membrane off because if you don't, they're going to be kind of rubbery. And the other problem is it keeps the seasoning from getting in there and really marinating the meat itself and making it tender and juicy. So pull that membrane off your ribs. Now, see my ribs that I've got right here? They're real nice and thick and meaty. So you can see the membrane has gone off the back of that. You know, we got plenty of meat and stuff on here. Now, what I do is I actually put yellow mustard on my ribs. That's right, yellow mustard. And what that does, now I know you're thinking, mustard on ribs? Well, here's the thing. You won't taste the mustard. The mustard actually puts a little extra moisture in there and actually helps to tenderize the meat, and it gives that rub something to hold on to. So I'll go ahead and just kind of squirt some of this on here. And you guys know I cut my finger, so that's why I got the rubber gloves on here. And be sure that you guys are careful when you're dealing with pork because you've got to make sure that it's cooked thoroughly, and you want to make sure that you don't cross-contaminate. So make sure that anything that you use, that you go ahead and clean up with bleach, so that way you're not leaving any germs behind, because you definitely don't want to make people sick. So we're going to go ahead, put our mustard and stuff on here, real good and liberal. Massage the meat a little bit there, make sure it's good and rubbed into it. Yeah. And we always do this the night before, so that way it gives that rub a chance to kind of start biting into it. Now, you can buy the pre-made rubs and stuff in the store. I mean, we've got booty rub, one of my favorites. Gotta love some booty. Then there's rub some booty. That's another one that's real good. Or sweet rub of mine. But I make my own rub, and what I use, because I definitely like things spicy. So I end up using brown sugar because I like sweet, some cayenne pepper, some cinnamon, a little pinch of nutmeg, some garlic salt, and it's important to have salt when you're doing these ribs because the salt will get into the pores and really will tenderize the meat a lot. And I also put some chipotle chili pepper into that. And along with that and the cayenne pepper will give it a good kick and a nice little sweet smoky flavor to it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this rub on here for tonight. I'm going to wrap that up, and then tomorrow I'm going to cook it for about 5.5 hours at about 220 degrees in the smoker. So we're going to get this done here tonight, and tomorrow morning we're going to start smoking these bad boys. And I tell you, I can't wait. Nothing like fresh ribs on the 4th of July. All right, I'll see you guys. Oh, hey friends, Mark Holmes here. Well, remember last night we ended up putting our dry rub and our mustard on our ribs? Well, I'm going to take those out right now and let them get to a room temperature. So for about an hour, I'm going to let them basically just kind of warm up slowly while I go ahead and get the coals and stuff going, as well as the wood chips, and get that thing smoking. Now you can see that with our mustard, that the rub kind of liquefied and all that stuff penetrated deep inside of it and starts breaking down the muscle fibers, because truth be told, ribs are very tough unless they're cooked just right. So we're going to take these and we're going to smoke them for about 5.5 hours at 220 degrees, and boy, are they going to be flavorful. So I'm going to go out here and get the coals and stuff ready while this slowly warms up. Okay, so I'm a little unconventional. I have actually a propane smoker that's actually here. And I know you purists out there are going to be like, oh my God, you got propane. But what I do with it is I actually take the smoke pan, I actually put some of the oak charcoal in there along with some wood chips. Go ahead and put that on the grill, get that smoking and the charcoal and stuff going in there, and use that as well as the propane to basically keep the heat and stuff consistent. And then what I'll also do is I'll put those other pieces of mesquite and hickory and things in there together, and that'll start burning. And then I soaked overnight some of my other wood chips, so we'll put that on top, and that'll give it more of that smoking flavor. One other thing I also like to do is in my wash pan, I like to use some apple juice. Put a little bit of that, it helps give a little bit more of that flavor, it helps keep the moisture in it. So I'm gonna get this thing started and get it smoking at about 220 degrees, and then we'll slap our ribs in there and let them smoke low and slow. All right, about another 30 minutes, we'll be ready to put those in on it and see how they look. Let's see how they look, guys. Ooh, Nelly, look at that. Well, we're gonna let those cook for about another half hour, then we're gonna put some barbecue sauce on them and let it kind of solidify on it. Now, the hardest part about making ribs is just literally waiting. So my best bet is to sit back with Jobu, grab a nice cold drink, and think about our Dallas Cowboys. All right, so we're coming down the home stretch for our ribs. Now that those ribs are just about done, I like to get my barbecue sauce on them for about 45 minutes to an hour, so that way it kind of solidifies on top of there and just gives it that little extra kick. Now, you can go ahead and buy some barbecue sauce from the store and all that, but I kind of like to make my own. Now, what I like to do is I like it sweet and I like it hot. You know, that's kind of a theme with me. So I use about 1.5 cups of brown sugar. I use some ketchup. I use a little soy sauce. I use Worcestershire sauce, as well as balsamic vinegar. Now, balsamic vinegar has kind of a sweet taste to it, which is really, really good, which kind of complements the other stuff in there. And of course, you got to put a little cayenne pepper, and I don't do almost anything without a little bit of my chipotle chili powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that stuff going. I'm gonna turn this on medium, and the moisture and stuff that's in here will end up taking the brown sugar and making it kind of gel together and kind of making it like a syrup as it cooks down. See all that melted together really, really good. And it's not too thick. It's kind of a thin barbecue sauce. So it'll be great putting it on the ribs, and then it'll be great to kind of dip into. Okay, so we've been about 5.5 hours, and we're down to the home stretch here. I've got my barbecue sauce. I'm gonna put these on here and cook them for about another 30 minutes and let that kind of glaze. Oh boy, let's take a peek and see how they look. Ooh, they've got that Texas crust, as they call it, on there. And man, these are going to be fantastic. Oh. It's time at last. Time to finally take these ribs out. Oh, let's take a look at these bad boys. Oh, look at that. A little potato salad, some baked beans, a nice chili beverage, and we will be good to go. Oh, you know that's going to be great. All right, here is our final product here, our smoked ribs that we've been smoking for about 6 hours. And let's go ahead and cut these open, and so we can see that smoke layer. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now you can see the smoke layer, which has kind of gotten through there, and literally how it's just the bone comes clean off. You couldn't ask for anything more than that, and you can see the dogs are hoping to get some of these bones. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'm about to grease down on some ribs. And I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. And we're going to be doing one of these videos each week where I give you guys, come on now, where I give you my tips and my cooking recipes to get ready for game day. I'm Mark Holmes. Cowboy Jobu is somewhere around, probably eating a rib. Have a great day.